December 26th, 2009, living in a prison, walking towards death, dying inside, fighting a battle that we never asked for, walking in something that I just can't handle. Why me? Why this? Why now? It's killing not only me, but my family. COVID sucks. What is this? Where did it come from? How did I get this? Why can't they treat it? Where am I headed? How am I going to die? What's going to happen in the end? Why can't we treat any part of it? What's going on with this?
Sink or swim.
Sink or swim.
Sink or swim.
It's a lived experience. Okay, well, here we are. Hi, my name's Doug Swim. I am here to talk about COVID.
Welcome to our podcast, Sink or Swim. It's the podcast that we are putting together that is being very transparent about the changes in our life that was caused by COVID-19 and this global pandemic. We think that the story that we can tell is probably a story that others...
I don't think that the label is out there correctly. We've called it long haulers, we've called it long COVID, we've called it everything but what it is, and it is a chronic COVID syndrome. That's what we're going to call it here, is chronic COVID syndrome. We have a blog. In that blog, I wrote about the chronic COVID syndrome, why it should be named that, how that fit. It is chronic, it is based on COVID, and literally it fits to a T the definition of a syndrome. Chronic COVID syndrome. Hello, COVID world. A world none of us ever asked for or dreamed of being forced to live in. A world where we literally have to decide, are we going to sink or swim? That's what this podcast is about. Sink or swim in the world of COVID. Welcome to our podcast. Constant pain. The pain doesn't stop. It never stops. Dry mouth, thirst, just having that feeling of always needing to need a drink. Numbness, tingling hands and feet. Pins and needles. It's like an onion. You gotta peel the onion. The worst of the symptoms are the very outside layers of the onion. It's like an onion. I have to peel the onion every day. Every hour I have to peel the onion. Get rid of the symptoms, the signs, the stuff that I have to deal with. Pain, the numbness, the tingling, the bones and the joints and the muscles and the tendons and everything. If I had to pick a way to describe it, I would call it rigor mortis. It feels like I'm dead, but I don't know it. It feels like I died 2 years, 102 days today. I had to be one of the first people.
Hey friends, we've got a podcast that we've called Sink or Swim that we're going to talk about COVID-19, how the global pandemic changed our family and the issues we deal with on a daily basis. And we're going to be very transparent about it. And I know that this is going to connect with some of you, and others I know won't be able to understand or believe some of the issues that we're going to talk about. We really do welcome you to listen to our podcast.
I first got sick December 26th, 2019. I have never in my life been sick the way I was on that day when this all first started. I've been in the healthcare industry and world as a PA, in nursing, in EMS with 911 service, and I cannot describe most of what is going on with me in known terms to us today. I cannot tell you what the pain feels like because it doesn't feel real. The pain does not feel real. I do not know how to mentally handle this. I do not know how my brain can take this. It is 24 hours a day. I don't get to go to sleep like I used to. When I go to sleep, I never get to go through the full 4 cycles. I never get to hit REM. I do not dream. I don't get there. Pain wakes me up. Nausea wakes me up. Nausea. Extreme nausea. Feels like I should just start heaving my guts out, but it never does. It's not real. I don't know how I can feel so nauseated, yet I literally could sit down and eat. It's not real. I don't understand how to even call it nausea. It's not there because I can sit down and eat. How can you sit down and eat and be so sick to your stomach you think you should be heaving your guts out?
Doug, do you remember when this all first started, we were hearing things about this pandemic or this COVID virus or whatever it was. It was just like so nebulous. People were talking about it. Where was it? And how did it start? And what were some of the issues that were going on with it? And I remember in the beginning, we thought it was a political ploy. Your comment was, if this is such a huge thing, then why don't we know anyone that has had this virus? And I remember us talking about that. Neither one of us knew anyone that had it. So was it really real? That was kind of what we were talking about. Is this a ploy? Is this a political thing? Where is it? If it's so bad, where is it? And then here we are. Not only do we know people that have had it, but you've been affected significantly. Your whole life has been changed. Your quality of life is different. You've lost a brother to it. We have a 13-year-old daughter that's lost a kidney to it. It's just more than what we ever could have imagined 2.5 years ago.
When I get a shooting pain, it's usually through one of my toes, somewhere on my foot, one of my fingers or thumbs, somewhere on my hand. But then, not always. Sometimes it will hit me straight in the back, like somebody just walks up, stabs me right in the back, just knife straight through, and then it's gone. Today, it could hurt every time I take a breath. Tomorrow, it could hurt my left leg. This afternoon, it could hurt my left leg, then my right ankle, then my right shoulder, then my neck, then into my gut. Nothing is consistent except the fact that it is inconsistent pain, numbness, tingling, nausea, itching. The itching is crazy. I used to not realize what it was, and I would dig my skin on my foot, my shins, my arms, my hands, when you got that itch that you just can't get to. Well, I can't get to this one because I don't think it's there. I don't think it's real. I don't know how it is. I think the infection from COVID got into my head somehow. I think it affected from my ear into my brain somewhere, and I think it jacked up my brain's ability to determine real and whatever this is that I feel. And it's like it's just sitting in there playing 52 card pickup. Pick up the deck, throw it. And all of those cards as they land is what I feel. Whatever the card might be, it's what I feel at that time. I don't get to pick when it is. My brain picks it. Well, my brain doesn't really pick it because it is so random, so inconsistent. Heart palpitations. I can feel them. I can palpate them on my wrist. My radial pulse, I can feel when I'm having them. I can feel in my insides that I am having palpitations. The palpitations happens about 2, 3, maybe 4 times a week. It's not every day. Medication sucks because really all I get is the side effects. I've had every medication that multiple different doctors can think of to try. I get the side effects. I get the nausea, the dizziness, the sweats, the whatever the side effects are. Nothing has made a bit of difference in any part of anything that I've been dealing with for 2 years and 100 plus days. I've had so much lab drawn, even the people at the lab have to look up some of the things to know what it is and how to draw it and which tubes to use and how to fill out the paperwork. I've actually had them ask me to come back once so they could have time to figure out what the heck it is that the doctor's wanting. There's absolutely no inflammatory markers out of normal. There's nothing in all of what the doctors would call normal labs that they would draw. There is no anything, nothing, everything. I am the healthiest person on paper you have ever met. All radiology, x-rays, MRI, everything. Normal. Nothing. I don't know how or why I'm not crazy. I should literally be jumping off of a bridge, picking up a gun, blowing myself up, swallowing all the pills I can find. Because I understand why people kill themselves with this. I understand why people commit suicide. Even just 1 or 2 of these things, ringing in the ears. It never quit. I can go for a week talking about the signs and symptoms that I have. Headaches. They can feel like a cluster headache. They can feel like a migraine. I do not get the aura, so I can't call it a migraine. It can shoot pain through my sinuses. It can shoot pain through my eyes. It can shoot pain down in through my teeth. It can make it feel like a tension headache. Make it feel like someone is pulling or prodding or poking. I get visual effects on occasion. I've totally lost half of my vision, the upper half, the superior half. If you look straight out, it looks like a black curtain down over my left eye. It lasted for about 30 minutes. I get these little bursts of what looks like when someone looks across the road in the heat and you see the heat waves, little bursts of heat wave looking things. They occur whenever high stress happens. I know I have floaters, but not all of the things that I see sometimes are floaters. Sometimes they're sparkler-like appearances. I get very, very, very tender at times. I don't even want my feet to touch the floor. It's hard to go in and even go to the bathroom because everything is so tender. You don't even want to move. You don't even want to have pants on or a shirt. All of it. It is just sore. It is tender. Beyond tender. Total exhaustion. I cannot even explain the COVID world. So I'm Doug Swim, and I am the lucky participant in this COVID world. My wife, Staci, will be joining me on this podcast, and we will be sharing our lived experience with you, your friends, your family, those people who you're trying to help understand. And we also want you to get encouragement from this podcast. So we're going to be doing interviews, we're going to be doing commentary, we're going to be doing discussion on specific topics. We're going to get personal, we're going to be professional, and we're going to share with you. We want to hear from you, we want to talk to you. We want to be able to help you as we can through this podcast. Thank you for joining us. Share this podcast with everyone. Be a part of us all coming together and surviving what we've never asked for. This lived experience sucks, but we're going to do it. We're going to keep going, and we're going to be as okay as we can be. Thank you for listening. Wait for the next one. Share it. Listen to it. Be a part of it. Have a great day. Be blessed. It's a choice.
Hey, if you're listening to our podcast, please like and share. Help us to build the community that needs to hear this. We really would appreciate your support.